Okay, hello everybody. Hello teacher. With my partner Andrés Alvarez and I, Diego Muñoz, we are going to talk about a topic related with the unethical behavior that is the cyberbullying. You know, all these kind of negative comments that people do to content creators, or in the same way to people that are getting into this lifestyle, and obviously they are receiving the same kind of comments. So why we choose this problematic? Basically, we can show that is one of the most inequality problematics that have our society now, and is all related with the social media. And the social media have improved our communication and it literally expand our reach around the world. But the negative part is the use that people do while they are giving their opinion. So some people that give their opinion in a good way, other people in a bad way. With that, we saw like an example, a case in Twitter, like it's now called X, about a streamer that we both see a lot. She's a trans streamer called Crystal Molly. Basically, she makes content in Twitch, so she really use a lot about all this kind of social media, and she use a lot the platform X. And she do like this all that kind of comments about joking, about having a baby or about making the vagina. She do that because she knows people get angry. And what is the causes of all of this? Basically, the anonymous. You really don't know who is the person that is behind these comments, and basically other people do this kind of negative comments about like looking for recognition and acceptation, and obviously this is a consequences, also a cause is basically the low self-esteem. You don't love yourself, you don't feel the pressure of everybody else, so you are doing this kind of activities, and in the same way you are feeling like in this kind of way, and it affects in our mental health, giving like, well, you're thinking about suicide, about killing yourself, depression. So this is all the consequences that you can have with the cyberbullying. And we took this case, like I was mentioning it, because we can see some people are really mean to her. So, like I was talking before, there are some posts that do the streamer, like for example, about having a baby, and and about doing an operation, and something about being really a woman. And we can find comments like, and we know that you will still be a man for all life. Or other comments about the worst part is the health resource will be taken to this stupid thing. Like it will be necessary that they self-mutilate themselves by the state. Anyways, we can't expect anything else. Other comments that you'll be a man forever, and what we can expect, he is a disturbing man. So we seen all that kind of comments. Obviously, for that, we're trying to do a plan to at least reduce and mitigate these negative thinkings, opinions, and giving a better usage for all the social media. So now my partner Andrés Alvarez, he will be talking about this plan.
Okay, hello. For some context, transphobia is pretty common in streaming, but it depends on the community they're approaching. For example, in this case, like we said, with Crystal Molly, she's a streamer that used to play mostly League of Legends, which is a video game that they tried to hide their queer stuff on release, but some years ago they finally like gave the spotlight to a transcoded character called Talia. And the problem with this is that they build up a misogynistic community, and then they tried to fix this by showing that they actually show like support to trans people. And for doing this, they actually received some backlash in the internet. So, thinking about these communities, we made a plan of action consisting of 3 steps. So, for the first one is investigating further, like investigating the effects of building a trans-friendly community from the start in video games, because there's some examples of this already. So, like we can actually say that if League of Legends didn't hide their queer stuff from the start, and they would have a community that actually like brings a safe space for trans people. And and we can say this because games like Grand Blue Fantasy Versus have communities that like they have done this before, and they have friendly communities with trans people. And the second one is that if possible, we will talk with both game developers and streamers to expand the discussion, because like we would like to share the streamer's perspective to the game developers, so they can know like what kind of community they're building. And the third one is to bring back this topic we're talking about right now, but to our personal projects. So, for example, right now I'm developing a game called Midnight Throne, and and there's a trans character called Cassandra. So she is a really interesting character, and and I included her on the roast because I really want to make people think like, okay, but what if I were her? Like, what if I was in her shoes? And because one of the most interesting ways of creating like this empathy is by assuming the role of that person, like thinking, what if I was her, and how can I solve their problems? That's a really personal way of showing what's the trans experience. And if we manage to finish these 3 basic steps, we hope we can have like an actual impact in the industry, and we can build like a more accepting community for streamers like Crystal Molly and many others in this like topic.